With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey. This is a bunch of stuff, deal.
What does that mean, a bunch of stuff?
Well, it means it's simply inaccurate.
It's Irish.
It's Irish. It is. We Irish call it malarkey.
Thanks for the translation.
No,
Okay.
We Irish call it malarkey.
You know what this is? Yeah, and I reserve this word for those rare instances when it's truly deserved. This is malarkey.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Direct from the King Spring Studios in beautiful Smyrna, Georgia. This is a bunch of malarkey. Now, here's your host, the incredible Charlie McMahon.
Thank you to the legendary Scott Shannon for that introduction, and thanks to all of you for tuning in to yet another episode of A Bunch of Malarkey. Can you believe it's our 10th episode of 2020 and our 75th overall? So thanks to all of you who've been here since the beginning, and thanks to all of our new listeners as our show grows each week, each month. Can't thank you enough for making A Bunch of Malarkey part of your work week, part of your gym workouts, part of your toilet breaks, wherever you listen to A Bunch of Malarkey. I am very grateful. So how do you get in touch with the show? You can email us at abunchofmalarkeypodshow@gmail.com. You can call the studio line and leave us a voicemail, area code 706-406-8212. You can get in touch with us on Twitter at Malarkey Pod Show, A Bunch of Malarkey Podcast on Instagram, or A Bunch of Malarkey, or at A Bunch of Malarkey Pod Show on Facebook. So many ways to get in touch with the show. Perhaps you have an idea for a topic for an upcoming show. You want to be a guest on the show, either live in the studio or by phone, or you just want to make a comment or be a wise ass, be a troll, whatever you want to do. Those are the ways to get in touch with the show. So how you feeling today, folks? Those first few days after we put those clocks ahead, they can be brutal, especially when you get older. Over 40, under 40, you're okay. For the most part. You get over 40, it takes like a week to get over this shit. I'm serious. I used to go drink until 3 in the morning and leave for work at 6, still having a buzz. No problem back in the day. Now you put a clock ahead an hour. I'm down for the count for a couple of weeks. So what can we do, folks, to feel a little better about losing this hour of sleep and get our bodies back into sync? Well, you would have had to start about a week ago. But every year we spring forward, we fall back. And even though the clocks change by only an hour, right? It's only an hour. The effects can be really noticeable. It's especially true right now in the spring when we lose an hour of sleep. We lose an hour of a day. And that hour is often subtracted from the time we spend sleeping because it's done overnight. If you're already somewhat sleep deprived, giving up just 1 hour of that shut-eye can negatively impact how you feel and how you function during the day, during the week. And it might even compromise your alertness and your reaction time, I should say, while you're driving. It's as if you end up with a mild case of like jet lag. That's the best way to describe it. Your body's internal clock, it's called a circadian rhythm. It's thrown off course, and it can affect how much sleep-inducing melatonin is released. Plus, before we spring forward, it was probably light outside when you woke up, which helped your body's internal clock activate brain regions that are involved in stimulating alertness and energy. After springing forward, you get an extra hour of light in the late afternoon, but the early morning hours are dark, which fucks you all up, which means your body's internal clock may not be quite ready to wake up and take on the day when that dreaded alarm, goes off. These changes can make it harder to get going in the morning and perhaps more difficult to turn in at your usual bedtime hour. So you have to start preparing a few days early. I know this is, the horse is fled and we're locking the gate now, but for next time, you should have started a few days early, about a week before springing forward. You start going to bed 15, 20, 30 minutes earlier than the usual bedtime. Your body needs that bit of extra time to make up for the lost hour. You have to stick to your schedule, be consistent with eating, social, bed, and exercise times during the transition to daylight savings time. Exposing yourself to the bright light in the morning will also help you adjust. Don't take long naps. Shutting your eyes midday is tempting, on the weekends, especially if you're feeling sluggish. But avoiding naps is key for adjusting to the time change. Long daytime naps could make it harder for you to get a full night's sleep. later that night. If you have to take them early and no longer than 20 minutes if you're a napper. They say avoid coffee and alcohol. Easier said than done for a lot of us, right? Put down the coffee and caffeinated beverages for 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. Alcohol also prohibits you from getting quality sleep, so avoid it late at night. So put down the beer. Put down the wine, put down the coffee this week. It'll help you adjust. But actually, we're going to need that coffee in the morning this week. So, well, what the hell do these experts know that I quote every week, right? Do all this research, give you all this advice from these experts, and half the time I read it and I say, do I really believe this shit? So we're talking about time, right? We're going to lose an hour. We're upset about it. We lose that hour of sleep and, we'll lose an hour of our weekend. But imagine losing or wasting time for 2 years that you can never get back. I know sometimes we do stupid shit. We binge watch on YouTube videos or whatever we do to kill time, mess around on our phones, or we're constantly killing time. But imagine watering a plant for 2 years only to find out that it was an artificial plant. Well, it's a story I read in the news this week, and I figured I had to share. Since we're talking about time, this was a waste of time. We all know that plants need love. And maybe plastic plants need love too. They don't, however, need water. That's obvious, right? There's something great about buying a plant. You take care of it, and you have it survive for more than a week or two. You feel good. So imagine the shock that one woman must have felt when she realized that a plant that she had been watering and caring for over 2 years was actually made out of plastic. Her name is Kaylee Wilkes, and she shared her story on her Facebook page where she wrote, quote, I've had this beautiful succulent for about 2 years now. I was so proud of this plant. It was full. It had beautiful coloring. Just an overall perfect plant. I had it up in my kitchen window. I had a watering plan for it. If someone else tried to water my succulent, I would get so defensive because I just wanted to take good care of it. I absolutely loved my succulent, end quote. Unfortunately, when she decided to transplant the plant into a new vase, she made a shocking discovery. Quote, I go to pull it from the original plastic container it was purchased in, only to learn this plant was fake, end quote. I put so much love into this plant. I washed its leaves, tried my hardest to keep it looking its best, and it's completely plastic. How did I not know this? I pulled it from the container. It's sitting on styrofoam with sand glued to the top. Wilkes, who's a stay-at-home mom, shared photos of the plant, which does look to be real from the top. Once pulled from the container, however, it is very clear it's not alive. Quote, I feel like these last 2 years have been a lie, end quote. So imagine doing that. You're taking care of it. It's like finding out your dog is a stuffed animal. No, seriously. You're taking care of this plant for 2 years, watering it, talking to it, whatever you do with plants, only to find out that it's fake. Now, she didn't waste time cleaning it, though, because you're supposed to clean the leaves of artificial plants because they're dust collectors. But we're going to get to all that later in the show. Now, we're headed towards spring. Now, wedding season will be in full swing. I know this season well because I DJ'd weddings for about 11, 12 years. I've seen a few jokes in my time as a DJ with strange toasts, strange speeches by the best man or the maid of honor, weird and strange song requests during toasts. But a guy in Ohio, he took a wedding gag to an entirely new level. With her crisp white dress and beautifully done hair, the bride arrived at the wedding hall ready to be married. Then she saw her brother, and next to him, a llama. Reva Weinstock was unamused, but she didn't need to say so. Her reaction to the well-dressed wedding crasher was caught on camera and seen around the world. Her brother Mendel posted a photo on Reddit where it quickly blew up, receiving more than 150,000 upvotes. That made it the top overall post this week and the subject of much internet joy. How the llama came to be? Well, the gag started 5 years ago when Reva and Mendel were driving from their home in Ohio to Indiana with some friends. Quote, she was talking about her wedding, planning it, making plans, almost as if it were going to happen the next day, even though she wasn't even dating anyone at the time, Mendel said. The nonstop talk between the three teenage girls got on Mendel's nerves. So as little brothers do, he blurted out something that he knew would get a good reaction out of her. I said, if you make me come to your wedding, I'm going to bring a llama with me, Mendel recalled. It was just the first thing that popped into my head. Naturally, Reva got upset and said that he was going to ruin her special day. But thinking that it was all just a joke, she accepted the idea and said, "I give up. The llama is invited to the wedding." Fast forward 5 years, and Reva got engaged this past October. She called Mendel with the happy news. Not even an hour later, she received a text that his llama rental was confirmed. When my brother puts his mind to something, he gets it done. So at some point, I had to accept it and decide that it was easier to get in on the joke than to fight it, Reva said. Mendel rented a llama for $400 from a llama farm near Cleveland and even had a custom tuxedo made for it. While $400 is a lot to shell out for a 21-year-old college student, Mendel said it was worth every single penny. It was so worth it. I mean, it was worth it just to see her reaction, but it's even more worth it now that I've gotten all this internet fame, Mendel said. The llama, named Shocky, stayed outside of the wedding hall on Sunday for about 30 minutes, taking pictures with guests. I was not too thrilled. I think my face in the picture pretty much wraps it up, Reva said. But unknown to Reva's knowledge, it seems that everyone was in on the llama joke as it continued even inside the wedding hall. 2 inflatable llamas were placed at the sweetheart table by her friends. Reva said she is thankful for the close relationship she has with her brother and that he definitely made her wedding memorable. And while getting back at him at his own wedding might seem a bit too predictable, she mentioned that his college graduation is just around the corner. I definitely started planning my revenge, Reva said. He should sleep with one eye open. Now that's a little crazy. That's funny, though. I mean, this guy took a joke to a whole new level. I mean, I grew up in a house of practical jokes. They're well documented here on the podcast if you go back to some of the early episodes. But that is taking a joke to the next level, actually following through with that. So I got to give this guy credit. So I actually thought maybe this guy could be a mutant, but it's just too funny, the joke of bringing the llama to the wedding. This guy's not a mutant. He's a fun guy. He probably is fun to hang out with, so I couldn't nominate him. But however, I do have 2 nominees, and that'll segue perfectly into our favorite segment.
A bunch of malarkey.
Mutant of the Week.
Now here's Charlie.
So we have back-to-back weeks where one vote decided who is going to be our mutant of the week. And by a 53 to 47% margin, by one vote, the impatient pyromaniac, the guy who lit his hospital bed on fire to get a nurse's attention, beat the general hospito, the guy who was a employed sitter at a hospital who was sucking on people's toes in the middle of the night. One vote gives the impatient pyromaniac the victory. He wears the mutant of the week crown until one of these two take the crown off of his head. Now, where do you vote for the mutant of the week? It's easy. You go to our Facebook page, A Bunch of Malarkey, or if you want to put the @A Bunch of Malarkey Pod Show in the search bar, like the page. Poll goes up on Mondays now and runs through early Saturday, 5.5 full days to vote. Get your vote in. As you see, every vote counts. So we've got back-to-back weeks with one vote deciding the victor. So who's going to take the crown away from the impatient pyromaniac? Now, this is the first time ever that I had a somewhat famous person as a nominee for our Mutant of the Week. We have to go to Washington, D.C., where the House of Representatives this week voted on a $8.3 billion emergency measure to fund the administration's response to the new coronavirus. While they were doing that, one lawmaker caught the attention of Capitol Hill when he wore a gas mask onto the floor. Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida, folks, do we have to say any more? He's a close ally of President Trump. He's serving his second term. He first tweeted a picture showing him wear a gas mask as he reviewed the bill in his office. A short time later, a Connecticut Democrat, Jim Hines, tweeted the photo that showed Gaetz seated in a chair in the House chamber in a gas mask ahead of the vote. Just before the vote, Gaetz, not hiding his disgust, referred to the House floor as a petri dish. Essentially, the floor of Congress is a petri dish. We all fly into these dirty airports. We touch and selfie everyone we meet, and then we congregate together, Gaetz said. A statement from Gaetz' office added, if there's anybody that's going to get the coronavirus, it's going to be the United States Congress. House rules do not explicitly allow medical headgear, even at this time of heightened concern. This is a rule that should be revisited. Asked if leadership is considering closing parts of the Capitol to the public, Gates replied, "I've been in support of closing a good amount of Congress for quite some time. The vote to fund the $8.3 billion emergency measure passed 415-2, with Gates voting in favor with most of his Republican and Democratic colleagues." So now we're trying to keep hysteria down about this, and you got this guy showing up in Congress to take a vote to fund the coronavirus in a gas mask. So we'll call him the Congressional Kook. That's Representative Matt Gaetz. He's our first Mutant of the Week nominee, the Congressional Kook. And our second mutant nominee also has to do with the coronavirus. We got to go up to New York City, where a man was caught on video spraying Febreze at an Asian commuter on a Brooklyn train amid coronavirus fears, and the incident is now being investigated as a possible hate crime, officials said on Thursday. The video of the spray down posted on social media captures a man spritzing the air freshener around an Asian man on an N train as it headed into the 8th Avenue station about 9 o'clock on Wednesday. "I don't want him under me," the commuter says on the video, talking to other train riders who were yelling at him to stop Febrezing the man. When the victim, standing by the doors of the still-moving train, didn't budge, the man started spraying Febreze at him. The 29-second clip showed. "Move," the suspect said. "I asked nicely, you're gonna move." The spritzing strap hanger's actions outraged the other train passengers who felt he targeted his victim because the coronavirus started in China. "There's not a single confirmed case of an Asian infected in New York City," wrote Celia Au, who posted the video on Twitter. NYPD Chief of Detectives Rodney Harrison said someone called 911 during the incident, but by the time the cops arrived, the train had departed to the next station and no witnesses could be found. "We were unable to take a report. We did receive the social media post, and our hate crime task force is looking into it." So I can see if it was Lysol. Not that I'm condoning this, folks. It was dumb what this guy did, stupid, and probably a hate crime. But what is Febreze going to do? Febreze is just a thing that takes like odors out of fabric. What is Febreze going to do? So let's call him the Subway Spritzer. So we got two coronavirus-related kooks this week. We got the Congressional Kook, who's wearing a gas mask to incite chaos and fear on the House floor. And then we got the Subway Spritzer, who's spraying Febreze on another fellow commuter because he thinks that's going to kill the coronavirus. So make your voices heard, folks. Poll goes up on Monday, ends on Saturday. The Congressional Kook, the Subway Spritzer, one of them is going to take the crown away from the impatient pyromaniac. So now this whole craziness with the coronavirus. Now, the whole show isn't about coronavirus. I wouldn't do that to you guys, but I want to talk quickly about all the gouging that's going on. You see these prices on eBay and Amazon for hand. You can't find sanitizer in the stores. You go to Costco. There's not even paper towels, toilet paper. Forget about Clorox wipes. People are going fucking apeshit over this. Now, normally I'm paranoid about certain things, but I don't care about this coronavirus. What I'm angry about is that people are hoarding this stuff that certain people need. The elderly need these sanitizing wipes and all these supplies that people are hoarding, bottled water, in case they can't go out of the house. People with compromised immune systems that are maybe going through chemotherapy or have underlying medical. Those are the people we should be running to the store for if we have a neighbor or a relative and buying those things for. Forget about masks. You can't even find those in the stores. And eBay, they're selling them for $80 a mask. They're normally $3. It's terrible what's going on right now. But people are in a panic, and they're gouging. Now, would you pay $149 for a 2-pack of 12-ounce bottles of Purell? How about a single container of Clorox wipes for $44? Plus $15 shipping. As the coronavirus spreads and people rush to protect themselves and their families from getting sick, the United States is seeing heavy demand for everything from masks to hand sanitizer. Shoppers scouring the internet and Main Street for these critical supplies say they are being hit with eye-popping prices. Shipping costs have also skyrocketed, with one shopper being quoted $500 for ground and $5,000 for next day air. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's fucking sick what's going on. Third-party sellers who stock the vast virtual shelves of Amazon, Walmart, and eBay seem to be testing what the market will bear, and social media has been flooded with complaints. Even California Governor Gavin Newsom joined the chorus on Tuesday. He said, "Seriously, Amazon, these prices are absurd." Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson, whose state has been hit the hardest by the coronavirus outbreak, said his office is investigating and has asked residents to file complaints if they spot this price gouging. "We do not identify the targets of our investigations, but we are taking formal investigative actions," Ferguson said in a news release this past Wednesday. I mean, toilet paper, bottled water, face masks, they're all empty in the shelves right now, no matter where you go up. On Wednesday, Senator Brad Holyman, he's a Democrat out of Manhattan, state senator, said he would introduce legislation to crack down on major price hikes on medical supplies during a public health crisis. Under the proposal, the Attorney General could penalize retailers, manufacturers, and distributors who raise prices on these supplies by more than 10% during this emergency. "We cannot allow shady businesses to hike prices on the supplies New Yorkers need to stay safe and healthy, like hand sanitizer and face masks," Holyman said in a news release. Amazon is cracking down, removing or blocking more than 1 million products on its platform for price gouging and misleading claims related to the outbreak. Amazon says it is also taking action on accounts that violate its policies, including suspending or removing selling privileges. eBay reminded sellers on Friday not to include health claims in item listings. Words such as coronavirus, COVID-19, virus, and epidemic were prohibited, as well as listings that attempt to profit from tragedies and disasters and have inflated prices over market value. Both eBay and Walmart told USA Today that they are actively and closely monitoring the situation and removing listings that go against their policies. Over the weekend, a man named Jack Arnest, he's 67, was looking for those N95 masks when he spotted on eBay a listing for 3 boxes for $62. He thought it wasn't a bad deal, but when he got his order confirmation, he noticed he was only getting 3 masks. He speed dialed eBay and demanded the order be canceled, but wondered how many shoppers were being misled by the photograph in the listing showing an individual mask leaning up against a box of 20. "There is no return policy, so if I had not canceled right away, I would have been stuck, and it pissed me off." That's a guy taking advantage of the fact that everyone's panicking and that most people are rushing to get something that is going fast and don't read the fine print, said Arnest. He's a retired project manager and engineer in the construction industry. "There is no way that a box of 20 masks should cost $400. That was a pretty clear-cut instance of gouging. Somebody is really profiteering out there." Dr. Wendy Liu, she's a dentist in California. She says she orders masks 20 or 40 boxes at a time to protect herself and staff during exams and surgical procedures. When her January order was suddenly canceled, she was told to place the order again. When she did, the price had gone up 5-fold. Liu says she switched to another vendor, but all vendors are now limiting how many boxes she can order. First it was 5 a week, now it's 2. Some vendors have run out of stock. "It's annoying, but there is not much we can do," says Liu. "It's supply and demand." What may seem like mercenary or predatory pricing to some consumers is normal market behavior to economists. Of course, they're going to side with these gougers. Price gouging refers to raising prices on goods and services to unfair levels, particularly during times of crisis. Vendors who jack up prices during a hurricane, earthquake, or pandemic often blame market conditions. Michael Salinger, an economics professor at Boston University and former director of the Bureau of Economics at the Federal Trade Commission, says they're right. The real problem is that there are too few masks available. Economists say a sharp increase in price, either by retailers or wholesalers, is the natural response to a sudden surge in demand that can help replenish supplies. These higher prices reward suppliers ready to meet that surge in demand, either from existing stocks or by quickly ramping up production, says Michael Gilbertson. He's an economics professor with Texas Tech University. Higher prices discourage consumers from hoarding masks that are vital for first responders and healthcare professionals or people at high risk of contracting coronavirus, keeping the available supplies in the hands of those who need them, he said. But we're all in this panic, right? we're all in this panic. We're buying all this crap. We're gouging. We're doing all this stuff, but we can't even get the basics done. Now, everybody's saying just wash your hands. Just wash your hands. Don't touch your face. After using the bathroom, folks, 95, this is a real number, 95% of people fail to wash their hands long enough to kill harmful bacteria, a study finds. Now, we're talking about coronavirus, all this. 95% of you out there, you may wash your hands, but you're not doing it the right way. Well, you're not doing it at all. 95% of people do not wash their hands properly or sufficiently after using the bathroom. But we're worried about coronavirus, right? Researchers also found that only 2 in 3 people use soap. 2 in 3, 67% use soap. While 1 in 10 skips the sink altogether after using the bathroom, and men get a much lower mark for hand hygiene than women. That's expected. The CDC recommends that you wash your hands vigorously using soap and water for about 20 seconds, or the time it takes to sing or hum Happy Birthday twice. Yeah, that's what you want to be singing. But on average, bathroom users only wash their hands for 6 seconds, and just 5% wash their hands for 15 seconds or longer, the research found. Among men, only half used soap, and 15% didn't wash their hands at all, compared with 78% of women who used soap and 7% of women who didn't wash their hands at all. These findings were surprising to us because past research suggested that proper hand washing is occurring at a much higher rate. Study researcher Karl Borkovic, a Michigan State Associate Professor of Hospitality Business, said in a statement, the researchers additionally found that people were less likely to wash their hands when faced with a dirty sink, whereas a clean sink increased the length of time spent hand washing. People were also more likely to wash their hands earlier in the day, and if there was a sign encouraging them to do so. So you need a sign. That's what those signs in the bathroom are for, folks, to encourage people, because people don't know. The study suggests that signage could be particularly helpful in men's bathrooms. The CDC says hand washing is one of the most effective ways to cut the spread of infectious diseases. Dirty hands are estimated to contribute to 50% of all foodborne illness outbreaks in the country. So it's basic hand washing. And we even take the coronavirus out of the equation. Let's go back 6 months. People weren't even washing their hands properly then. 95% of you aren't washing your hands right after going to the bathroom. But we're expecting everybody, all of a sudden, people are hoarding hand sanitizer and this and that. Suddenly everybody's going to change. Come on, folks. Come on. Now, people are having trouble doing the basics. They're hoarding the masks, hand sanitizer. They are fearful of the coronavirus and not going out. I do an Amazon Fresh order. If you don't know what that is, folks, Amazon has a food delivery service where you place your order online. Within a couple hours, food is at your doorstep. Groceries. Every week, on Friday morning, like clockwork, I order my food. It's usually there by noon on Friday. I'm done food shopping for the week. Well, this week, I went on yesterday morning. Absolutely no delivery available yesterday because there was people aren't leaving the house. People are paranoid. It's getting crazy. Friends are telling me they're going to Costco. No paper towel, no toilet paper, no water, no wipes. People are going nuts. Now, most people think they're clean. You think you're keeping up with things. But let's go over some things. That's our topic for the week. Things that you should be cleaning on a regular basis, but not doing at all, or very rarely. In no particular order. So I want to show we're paranoid. We're going to do all this stuff to keep us clean from the coronavirus. But there's so many things right in our homes right now that need attention. You know, on the surface, you look around, you vacuum, you mop the floor, you have company. Oh, my house is clean. We're going to go over some of these things, folks. You're going to say, holy shit, I need to get to work. So grab a pen, a notepad, and start making your spring cleaning list now, folks. Now, when was the last time you cleaned your hairbrush? Now, I don't have that problem because I don't have hair. Shaved my head for the last 20 years. So after pulling all the hair out of your brush, you need to soak your brush in warm water with some shampoo, or even after you pull the hair out of your brush or comb, they should get a rinse off every so often to get rid of any lingering debris or residue left behind from your hair products. Give them an overnight soak in warm water and baking soda works. You'll have them looking and feeling brand new. So when was the last time you cleaned your hairbrush? Not just pulling the hair out, that you actually soaked it, made it look like new. Your toothbrush, folks. Either replace it, especially after you get sick. You need to replace that toothbrush, or every few brushes you need to soak it in vinegar. What about that toothbrush holder? Have you taken a look at your toothbrush holder lately? It probably needs a good scrubbing. But your toothbrush isn't keeping its germs to itself. A study from the Public Health Organization, NSF International, found that 64% of toothbrush holders contains mold and yeast compared to 27% of toilet seats. So your toothbrush holder is filthier than your toilet seat. Toothbrush holders are also far more likely to contain staph infection. You put your brush in there, which is damp or wet, and that residual water drips down and collects at the bottom of the cup. Germs tend to like warm and moist environments. Most holders can go in the dishwasher, which will get rid of any residue and germs feeding on it. Toss yours in the dishwasher weekly. So now you're going to go to that bathroom and you're going to look at that toothbrush holder. I'm helping you out, folks. You want to be clean? You want to sanitize your hands? Well, let's take it a step further. Now, nobody really has a vacuum cleaner with a bag anymore. Remember those old bags you had to change all the time? They would get full, and then the vacuum wouldn't suck up anymore, and it would just blow dust. Now we have these bagless vacuums, and in those chambers, or whatever you call them, are these filters. Now, everybody, after they vacuum, they empty the dirt canister, but don't clean the filter. Plugged filters lead to an overworked vacuum motor, and sooner or later you're going to burn your vacuum out. A motor replacement costs at least $100. So you're going to want to clean those filters. Look at your model of filter. You can find it on YouTube or online. See how the best way to clean it. Most of it's soap and water. Some can go in the dishwasher. It depends on your filter. So those need to be cleaned every couple of weeks. People avoid cleaning them, those vacuum filters, because it's a messy job. Everybody just taps the filter against the inside of the trash can. The dust falls off, and they say, all right, and the big, thick cloud of dust rises. But it never gets that filter completely clean. Take the vacuum to the garage, use a shop vac on it, on the pleated filter. So look up your model of vacuum filter and figure out a way to clean it. What about your trash cans? You take it for granted. You line the bag in there. You throw your garbage out. You take the garbage out. Just because you're putting a bag in there doesn't mean that your trash can is free of germs. Think of those times the trash bag leaked a little bit, and who knows what lingers at the bottom of that bin. Each time you take out the trash, just spray the inside of the trash can with a disinfectant. Once a month, take it outside and wash it out with bleach and clean it with hot or the hose. Even those gigantic outdoor trash cans, especially in the summer, those things start to smell. I use Pine Sol or bleach or whatever every month in the summer, especially here in the South where it's hot. Your telephone, your cell phone, or your handheld phones, folks, they need to be cleaned. You're taking them into the toilet. That's the new morning paper now. People are taking a shit on the toilet. Excuse my language there. and you're looking at your phone. You're scrolling. Now, don't spray a cleaner directly on the phone. Use like a rubbing alcohol on a rag or a clean paper towel. And even on your regular telephones, if you still have a landline, your mouth and earpieces. Your hands aren't always clean. You're touching all different surfaces. You're putting your phone down on all different surfaces. You're taking it into the bathroom. Check with the manufacturer for the cleaning of your phone, but it's usually pretty easy. A sanitizing wipe, antibacterial wipe will get your phone clean. For those of you who have shower curtains, you don't have shower doors, you have the shower curtain, your bath mat, all that. You think you could just wipe down that shower curtain with some vinegar? You got to think again, folks. You want to put your shower curtain in the washing machine. Your shower curtain attracts all kinds of mildew and mold and all kinds of stuff being in that moist environment like your steamy shower. Give it a good wipe down with baking soda or turn it in the washer every once in a while. Here's a big one. TV remotes and game controllers. Now, when I go to a hotel, I bring a plastic bag with me, one of those gallon-sized bags, and the first thing I do is get the remote into a bag, and then I use the remote through a bag. I never touch the remote because that's disgusting. But these get very dirty. You want to use a microfiber cloth or a toothbrush, can work wonders. You want to take out the batteries. Don't spray anything directly onto the remote or game console. Just like your phone, you touch the remote all the time with your dirty hands, and you spread those germs and dead skin cells around. So wipe it down once a week with a microfiber cloth. a little rubbing alcohol, a disinfectant wipe, if you can find them. So you're going to want to wash your remotes once a week. You writing this all down, folks? I'm trying to keep you healthy here. Now, here's one that I always thought of that I've been doing lately. Even if you use the wipe in the store to wipe down the shopping cart, you're still touching things in the store. And then you're going out to your car. I keep the hand sanitizer in the car too, but sometimes I may forget. You want to clean your car steering wheel and the buttons, the little gear shift regularly. If it's leather, you want to use a leather cleaner. If it's plastic, wipe it down with a disinfecting wipe. Get everything your hands touch, the knobs, your radio, your air conditioning knob, your gear shift. Those are a breeding ground for germs, especially in this environment. Your pop-up sink stoppers. There's more hair and debris under those than you think. Take them out once every few weeks. Clean out the hair and the gunk that's under there. Same thing with your bathtub and shower drain. Get ready to see some gross things. You might need some needle nose pliers, but get all the hair and stuff out of there. They also sell those special screens now that catch everything before it goes down, and you can clean those regularly. Your reusable grocery bags. Now, a lot of us use reusable grocery bags. In a lot of states, it's the law. They don't give out the plastic anymore. A lot of them are machine washable, but the ones that aren't or in between machine washing, just take a disinfectant wipe and wipe out the inside of those reusable bags. There's a lot of germs in there. Doormats. You don't realize how dirty your doormats are. I'm not talking about just mud. You walk everywhere where there's germs and stuff, and then you're wiping your feet on the doormat, then you're going in the house. But the doormat, you think you're wiping your feet clean, but you're actually using that mat so much that there's a lot of germs and stuff on there. So you want to wash those doormats regularly. Now, pillows. Don't you always get a better night's sleep when your bedding smells fresh, like those dryer sheets? Well, that smell and that freshness will last longer if you're not just cleaning your pillowcase and duvet cover and sheets, but if you're cleaning your pillows. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there on how to wash pillows. You should do your pillows every 2 or 3 months. You don't need to do them every time you wash your sheets every week. You could throw them in the washing machine on a gentle cycle with some hot water to remove dead skin cells and sweat. Drying, when you're drying them, add a couple of clean tennis balls to help speed up the drying and keep the pillow guts from clumping. Little tip there. Again, there's a lot of YouTube. Anything you want to know how to do, folks, there's a YouTube video for. Any problem you have in your house, you want to fix something, replace something, there's a YouTube video for. So you want to see how to wash pillows? It's there. You want to clean and wash your pillows. Here's one that people take for granted, the bathroom exhaust fan. Remember I mentioned last year that if you flush your toilet without the toilet cover down, all that stuff goes into the air. And when it goes into the air, it goes into your air conditioning or heating vents if you have central heat and central air. And a lot of dust gets in there, a lot of particles gets in there, moisture and humidity from the bathroom that gets caked between the exhaust fans with debris. They're often located on the ceiling, sometimes on the floor. You might not even notice it's dirty. They're easy to clean. Grab the edge of the cover and pull it down. Squeeze the springs to release them from the slots and remove the cover. You can run it through the dishwasher if the material is right, or you could take a rag or a sanitary wipe and wipe it down. Same thing with your AC and heating vents. Get all that dust out. You can use a washcloth wrapped around a butter knife if you don't have the proper tools. But you got it. The air we breathe in the house and change those air conditioning filters. It's very important. The air we breathe has more of an impact on us than almost anything. So you want to change those exhaust fan vents and your AC and heating vents regularly. Your door locks. People always go for the knob. You want to wipe down your locks. You turn your deadbolt knob or your locks. You want to make sure those are clean. Your barbecue grill. You want to clean the grates with ammonia. There's videos on YouTube on how to clean that. It involves a garbage bag, ammonia. You put the grill grate in the bag with the ammonia. You close it up. You let it sit for a while. You take it out and cleans up your grill grates very well. We talked about the woman who was watering the houseplant for 2 years, didn't realize it was fake. Now, those get dusty too. And they breed bugs, especially the real ones. You can just spray them down with water or brush those fuzzy leaves with a toothbrush. Those bathroom puffs, everybody's using those puffs, loofahs, whatever they're called. Those need to be washed too, folks. And now, My wife replaces them way too often. You know, when you first get it, it's like rigid and hard a little bit, and after about a couple of weeks, it starts to get softer. That's when I start to enjoy the puff, and my wife ends up throwing it out and getting new, constantly replacing the puffs. But you can actually wash those in the washing machine with bleach or some vinegar. Or just replace them every 2 weeks. But they're kind of nice when they're broken in a little bit, the texture of them. So I wish we would wash ours and not replace them. Your earbuds and headphones, we take those for granted. You don't want to get an ear infection. You want to wipe down your earbuds, and especially your earbuds and your headphones. Yoga mats, you go to yoga. Remember how much time that yoga mat spends on the floor? You want to use disinfectant spray or wipes on your yoga mat. Lampshades. Clean off that dust, folks. They're caked with dust. You have to do those lampshades every couple of months. You're taking those aluminum water bottles to the gym. You're drinking out of them, and you think just rinsing them is enough. It's not. Rinsing doesn't cut it. Run them through the dishwasher. A lot of soap and water if you don't have a dishwasher. The ice trays. Now, a lot of people have the automatic ice machine, which you also have to look at. Where the water comes out of your ice machine and your ice comes out, put a little headlamp on, like a runner's headlamp, or take a flashlight, take the little cover off. You'll see how much mold accumulates on there. So before I get into the next thing, look at your ice machine or your water machine on your refrigerator. Now, normally you can't see the spout where the water comes out because you're above it. Get down on your knees and look up and use a light, and you'll be shocked at what you see. Clean out your water and ice dispenser on your... But if you're using ice trays, just put them in the dishwasher. If you have silicone trays, you can use a vinegar and water soak. That'll help you out. Now, we all have a dish rack. Even if we have a dishwasher, sometimes we just wash a pot or something. We have a dish rack. Those build up mildew, rust. You can use a bleach water dilution. Look on YouTube. Got to clean those. Those really accumulate a lot of germs and mold and mildew. Even your clothes iron. You're using an iron, right? Well, a lot of people don't use irons anymore. But if you do, you can use a baking soda paste to clean your iron, make it look new again, get all those germs off of it. Light switches are obvious. We're constantly touching light switches. How many times a day we touch those light switches? And no matter how clean we think our hands are, each time we touch that light switch, we're spreading germs. Wipe them down regularly with a disinfectant spray or a cloth. Now, our walls. How often do you clean your walls, folks? Be honest. You know, you look at your walls, you say, it's a pretty good paint job. A Swiffer sweeper. The same thing you use on your wood floors. It's useful for more than just your floors. You can dust interior walls and ceilings and trim too. Just attach one of those little Swiffer cloths to the rectangle end, press it along the walls and trim. You'll pick up dust, cobwebs, and dirt safely without having to step on a ladder or damaging your walls. How often do you clean the inside of your closet? You know, the closet floors are often covered with stored items, clothes, block access to the walls. Closet cleaning is, it's often neglected. But who wants to put clean or new clothes in a dirty closet? Once a year or once a season, spring and then fall. Take everything out of your closet, wipe down your walls, dust, vacuum, wipe down your shelves, and give it a good vacuum. Even outdoor lights. Like anything that lives outdoors, your outdoor light fixtures, they get filthy. Get in the habit of cleaning and inspecting your outdoor lights once a year, especially checking for any bug nests. You get bees, all kinds of different pests get in there. The heat provided by outdoor lights makes an ideal environment for mice and other rodents as well. Now, I mentioned locks, doorknobs. We all have them. We all touch them. When was the last time you actually went around and cleaned all your doorknobs in your house? It takes a couple minutes and will kill any lingering germs. Use a bleach-based cleaner, easy for me to say, and just be careful not to get any on wood floors or trim because it could affect the finish. Or just use a Clorox wipe if you can find any in the stores. What about your mattress? You sleep on it every night. You think it's clean because it's covered with sheets and a mattress cover, but your mattress still gets dirty. It's a good idea to periodically vacuum it and spot clean it for any stains or anything that may appear. Sometimes your dog sleeps in the bed with you. Maybe has a little accident at night that you don't know about. Doesn't even need to be you making the stain. You can also air it outdoors in the sunshine for a few hours. The UV rays from the sun will kill any lingering bacteria, and the fresh air will remove any lingering musty smell. Now, air conditioners need annual cleaning and maintenance. You want to call, if you have a central unit, You should have it maintained in the spring and in the fall before you turn your AC on, before you turn your heat on. Most companies, you can get like a package where you get maintenance included with that. Now, you want to make sure your air conditioner is working and in good condition before you need it, before that first 90-degree day. There's many easy-to-clean items both inside the house and outside at the condensing unit. So you need to clean your filter, the little vents, especially if it's a window unit. You have your filter, you have your vents. If it's the central unit, call a professional to clean the outside condensers and that kind of stuff. But you do get a lot of like dirt and debris on those outside condensers, so you want to make sure those are clean. Now, the refrigerator, that's probably one of the dirtiest places in most people's houses. They think it's clean. Now, I clean my refrigerator out. Our garbage man comes on Fridays. Every Thursday, I clean out the refrigerator of any leftovers. I do a check for any expired products every Thursday. I'm not always great about wiping the shelves down, but I try to. My wife tries to. We sometimes run them through the dishwasher. Cleaning your refrigerator is very important. Even the maintenance on the refrigerator. Simple maintenance will prevent almost 100% of refrigerator breakdowns and eliminate service calls. So you want to clean behind the refrigerator, vacuum the coils underneath, because especially if you have pets, you have pet hair, all kinds of dust and dander. You want to pull that refrigerator out, make sure your coils are clear, and you just want to feel good knowing that behind the refrigerator there's no critters or anything growing back there. Inside your dryer and your dryer vent. Now, built up lint inside dryer cabinets causes more than 15,000 fires every year. Lint escapes through tiny gaps around the edges of the dryer drum and falls into the cabinet, especially when the exhaust vent or vent cap is clogged and the airflow is restricted. The lint can get ignited by electrical heating elements, gas burners, or even a spark from the motor. The flames then travel through the lint-lined exhaust vent. So you want to make sure your dryer inside and your dryer vent is clean. Your oven, your built-up spills and remnants of old food and liquids inside ovens can cause smoke and a bad smell. Clean up big spills as they happen. Make it a habit to put your oven through its cleaning cycle regularly. Even your dishwasher. You think you're running your dishwasher every day with the hot water and the soap, and it's cleaning the dishes, so the dishwasher must be clean. But it's not. You'd be wrong. Food bits and other things find their way into all the nooks and crannies of your dishwasher, leading to bad smells and eventually your dishes not getting clean. There are dishwasher cleaners that you can run through on a cycle on its own out there, and you can also do that manually. Your garbage disposal, especially in the summer, does your sink smell bad? There are tablets you can put down that foam that clean out your garbage disposal. You can use natural things like lemon juice, all kinds of stuff. Look on YouTube. Clean your garbage disposal. It'll prevent a lot of smells and bugs and all that crap in the summer, especially in the summer. But you want to do that all year round. Now, you have these little soffit vents outside. Blow out the debris in those soffit vents to maintain good attic ventilation. You want good attic ventilation. It'll save on air conditioning costs in the summer and protect your roof from condensation in the winter. So go out there or have a professional come and do it if you don't want to get up on the ladder. One of the filthiest things is your computer or laptop keyboard. The germs on your hands go on your keyboard, obviously, but the keyboard also collects food, crumbs, hair, dead skin cells. Every month or so, use compressed air to get all the crumbs and the junk out. Use a cotton swab dabbed in a little rubbing alcohol to wipe between the keys. Or you can use one of those Clorox wipes if you have them. Again, the refrigerator coils, I went over. When was the last time you cleaned behind your refrigerator, including the coils? It takes about 15 minutes. It can help reduce electricity bills while extending the life of your refrigerator. So pull that refrigerator out. You think you're clean, but there's pure filth behind that refrigerator. Trust me, folks. Put down the phone right now. You're listening to me. Come on, walk over to that refrigerator. It's on wheels. Slide out that refrigerator. Tell me what's behind that refrigerator. I want to know in the show notes. What'd you find behind that refrigerator? Your washing machine, same thing as your dishwasher. You think you're washing clothes, it must be clean. Doesn't mean the washer doesn't need cleaning. Once a month, run an empty load with some hot water and bleach. Front load washers are especially prone to unpleasant smells and liable to gather mold. All right, we all have these coffee machines, right? Keurig, ones that use the pod, ones that don't. You probably wash your coffee pot, but then you need to also give your whole machine a deep clean every once in a while. Data shows that coffee reservoirs where you pour water are even dirtier than toilet seats and toilet handles. So They have filters to make the water taste good and stuff like that, but you need to clean those reservoirs out. Run a vinegar through, cycle through these coffee pots. You leave your reservoir open when you're done making coffee. It will help clear out the moisture that germs love. Clean the reservoir by filling it with equal parts water and vinegar. Turn on the machine so the vinegar cleans the carafe, plus eliminates mineral buildup in the machine's pipes. Once that is done, brew a pot of plain water to eliminate any traces or taste of the vinegar. You all have a shower caddy, right? You put your razors on there, you put your shampoos, all kinds of stuff in there. All your great things to make you look so nice when you go out of the house. People think you're all clean and looking fresh, but those shower caddies are filthy. They are. You may not see the soap residue, the globs of shampoo, mold, mildew. You may think that just rinsing down the caddy is good enough, but you have soap scum and mold. Let the caddy soak in hot water with a little cleanser. Once it's clean, hang it up to dry thoroughly before returning your products to the caddy. Or in some cases, check to see what material it's made of. Run it through the dishwasher. Here's one that's always filthy, folks, and it's right above your food. The kitchen range hood filter. You know that hood that's right above your stove? You turn the exhaust fan on. You got a little light bulb under there. Again, you're not always seeing under it because your eye level is usually above it. Squat down on your knees or just bend over and look up above your stove and see the filth that's in that filter. You got to wipe out that whole area. Those filters can be washed and cleaned and replaced. Check the light bulb for dirty, for bugs. Sometimes a fly gets in the house, a mosquito. Again, they love the warmth of that light. It's right above your food. You're cooking, oh, this is delicious chili. Come on over. You're stirring all the shit, and all that filth is right above, gently falling into the mixture. That's why it tastes so good. Check your range hood filter and get that cleaned once a month or so. Your toilet bowl brush. Now, I wouldn't want to be a toilet bowl brush. They're neglected. They're relegated to the filthiest task of all, cleaning the crap out of the toilet. The thought of what's left on that brush can leave people a little queasy. So put a splash of Pine Sol in the bottom of the brush container. Not only does that help to deodorize the bathroom, make it smell nice, it also disinfects the toilet brush. So put a couple of drops of that Pine Sol or some type of nice disinfecting cleaner at the bottom of the little caddy that holds your toilet bowl brush, and it'll stay sanitized. What about those crevices on the side of the refrigerator? We said to pull out and clean the coils in the back. Those little space between your refrigerator and the floor, or the refrigerator and the cabinet, it's a magnet for pet hair, for dust, for crumbs, and all kinds of little trinkets in there. If you go too long without cleaning, it can attract ants and other pests. You can just pull out your refrigerator or get a vacuum cleaner with an extension on it and clean that out. Clean under and on the sides of your refrigerator. Pet peeve of mine, light fixtures and ceiling fans. We have a ceiling fan in every room of our house. I often look up and see a little bit, especially if you have pets, but it doesn't have to be a pet house. Dust goes everywhere. You want to clean your light fixtures and ceiling fans. Now, people say you can get one of those Swiffer dusters and do the ceiling fans. I don't recommend that. When you do it, sometimes the dust falls all over. I like to get a wet rag or wet disinfecting cloth, and it comes all up in one swoop. The dust will come up, clump and come up in one swoop. You may need 2 or 3, depending on how many blades of the fan you have, but you want to make sure those are clean, especially before you turn them on. It's going to get warm soon. You're going to want to turn your ceiling fans on, and then the dust and filth is going to fly all over. So get up there on a ladder, or if you have a cleaning service, come to your house. Make sure they're cleaning your fans. Now, also the tops of your curtains. Now, windows usually get the attention during spring cleaning, but don't miss the tops of your curtains. You could wash the curtains, if they're washable, in the washing machine and hang them right back up to dry. But if you're not going to do that, at least dust the tops of your curtains. That's where the dust forms. Window sills also. Grab a handheld vacuum cleaner and clean your window sills, especially the ones behind curtains. That's where bugs go to die. Clean your window sills, folks. Here's one that I never understood. Your silverware trays. How exactly do crumbs end up in a place where only clean utensils go? Now, I'm not here to solve that mystery today, folks. I'm just here to remind you that it happens. If your silverware tray is dishwasher safe, run it through a cycle. If not, if it's wood or bamboo or whatever, take your silverware out, wipe it out with disinfecting wipes. Clean your silverware drawers. Can openers. People open a can, put the can opener right back in the cabinet. Wash your can opener after every use. Doesn't have to go through the dishwasher. A little soap and water. The back of your bathroom door. Now think about it. You close your bathroom door. That's where you go to the bathroom, you shower, all kinds of germs in there. Nobody ever cleans the back of the bathroom door. Take some disinfectant spray, some paper towel, or some disinfectant wipes. Wipe down the back of your bathroom door every so often. Kitchen sponges, I'm going to close out with. How often do you change your kitchen sponge? Or if you don't change it out, you can microwave it. There's instructions on YouTube. All you're doing is transmitting germs. If you're not replacing or sanitizing those sponges on a regular basis, your dishes aren't going to be clean when you think they are. So those are some of the things. We're all panicking over coronavirus, but those are some of the things in our own homes right now that we're not paying any attention to, that are magnets for dust, dirt, germs, virus, all kinds of stuff. So rewind the podcast. Hopefully you took some notes. If you didn't, go back, make a list. And if you're a lady listening, tell your husband, here's your to-do list. You guys are going to kill me. Here's your to-do list for the spring. Well, you could share it. Turn on some music. Turn on a podcast that you love. And next episode, a bunch of malarkey or future ones. Listen to the podcast. Laugh together as one big happy family and get those things cleaned around your house. So that's where I wanted to go with this. We're all in a panic. All I could say, folks, is calm down. I saw interviews with people who had the coronavirus. He said it was like a respiratory type thing. Now, if you have underlying health issues, you want to take the proper precautions. And I'm not saying to be reckless if you don't, because there's always a chance something could happen. But live your life. Be kind to others, folks. Don't hoard. There are people who need these things, medical professionals that need these masks. There are elderly people that need some of this stuff. Don't hoard. You're not going to be in your house for a year. Yeah, it's a serious thing. People are passing away that have underlying health problems. It is spreading. You know what? Let's all help each other. Let's all try. Don't be a mutant and, buy 50 cases of water like you're going to be in a bunker for a year. Come on. Seriously. I bought a couple of little things. I maybe bought 2 cases of water. I haven't hoarded anything. As I need stuff, I'll get it. If they are out of stuff, I'll do without. I'll figure something out. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Go over some of the things that I mentioned, especially in your car, places you touch a lot. Clean your steering wheel, your knobs in your car, handles, doorknobs, that kind of stuff. And, let's all try to make it tolerable for one another is the best way to put it. So that's all I'm going to say on that. So where are we located, folks? How do you listen to a bunch of malarkey? Well, we're all over the place. We're on iTunes. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Radio Public, Radio.com, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube, Deezer, Pocket Cast. And if you have an Echo device, just say, Alexa, play the podcast, A Bunch of Malarkey, and she will play the most recent episode. Again, Mutant of the Week voting starts on Monday, ends on Saturday. We've got the Congressional Kook, Representative Matt Gaetz in a gas mask on the House floor for a coronavirus vote against the subway spritzer, the man spraying someone with Febreze, thinking that's going to kill a potential coronavirus. Monday to Saturday, make your voices heard. We appreciate it. Again, you want to get in touch? A bunch of malarkey podshow at gmail.com. Area code 706-406-8212. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. So love to hear from you. As always, I love the feedback. So in the show notes, tell me what you think about the episode. If there's anything I forgot that should be cleaned regularly, I know my brother will have it. My brother's the cleanest guy I've ever met in my life. He'll say, you forgot this, you forgot that. So I'm sure we're going to hear from him on things that I forgot to mention that we should be cleaning that we're not. So looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to all your comments and your input. What did I forget? What should we be cleaning on a regular basis that we aren't? And also, talk about the coronavirus on the page. Tell me what you're doing to prepare or not doing about the coronavirus if you really are like me and say it will pass eventually, hopefully, and we'll take it from there. So, folks, if you're making a list and you're checking it twice and you're going to figure out what you're going to clean next, and you're hunkered down in a bunker fearing the coronavirus, you still have to beware, because it's a shit show out there. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a bunch of malarkey. I hope you have a great week. Wash those hands, stay safe, and we'll catch you next week. Take care, everybody.